So the recent conversations are that, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but everyone's starting to drop the US dollar. And they're saying that Saudi Arabia is about to change from oil being traded in the US dollar, right? I'm sure you guys have heard of this.
They've been trying to do that for years.
No, but it's countries are starting to actually drop it, right?
I need this egg right now, man. This is giving me anxiety.
So America is heading into an unprecedented, not even recession, it's going to collapse.
Yeah.
If Saudi Arabia gets out of the US dollar trading on oil, that's it. It's all over. Like, America's finished, right? And it's not going to take days. It'll be
I'm going to wait until I come back from Hawaii.
It'll be minutes. So there is
Can you picture security at the Hawaiian airport in Honolulu with binoculars waiting for this idiot in like a Laos shirt to finally
the flower.
the what's it called?
What is that? Like a necklace lanyard thing?
A Lao, isn't it?
Yeah.
Waiting for him to get back on the plane to fly back to Melbourne, and as soon as it takes off, spot fires just all over the island. The US Capitol just collapses.
Just combusts.
Yeah.
Woo! That was a close one.
The plane just makes it and there's like a flame behind it.
The tail's got a little flame on it.
John's like half asleep in his seat with like peanuts on
a bit of turbulence.
What was that? Oh, who cares?
One whiskey, please.
It just goes back to sleep. Okay, continue.
Wait, cancel the whiskey. Give me a glass of milk.
I'm sweetie.
So the US has started pushing into... It's like this weird thing. They're like half interested in moving into cryptocurrencies and they're half... Well, I shouldn't say cryptocurrencies. They're specifically saying digital assets. And there's a lot of laws and regulations that are currently about to be pushed in the next 3 months, apparently, around legalizing of digital assets and governing laws around digital assets. That is unheard of in American law regulations for the whole time that crypto's been around. So why now would they be doing this? And the speculation is that, they're aware that if Saudi Arabia gets out, it's finished. They need a backup option, which is actually going to be a digital asset. There's no other option.
But you just don't drop like a currency that's backed by something just like that.
Or
you can't just do it.
I don't remember exactly because I don't care enough about it. But there are countries who have already dropped the US dollar.
Who?
What did you not?
No, I heard, but like who, man? You can't just say it.
Google it. Right. It's pretty recent news. It's in the last week or something.
I heard what you said, but I'm saying you got to have something. I
don't remember, man.
That's a big call.
I only look at news on the toilet. Everyone's adopted the Chinese dollar.
I just punched in Google countries that have dropped, and the US dollar was the second search.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one now.
That's never good.
Oh, that's peculiar. Is the US dollar losing... Okay, wait, hang on. Let's see when this article was written.
5 banks just defaulted, yeah.
April 4th, 23, so it's recent. Last year, the US dollar was the king of the world. The world's reserve currency was once again confirmed... The world's reserve currency had once again confirmed its status as the ultimate safe haven, crushing rivals gold, the Swiss franc, Japanese yen, and Bitcoin. As the US Federal Reserve raised rates to fight inflation, overseas investors piled in seeking a higher rate of return, driving the dollar to a 20-year high. Then, as September drew to a close, sentiment shifted. Instead of fleeing trouble, investors started looking forward to the day when the Fed declared victory in the war on inflation, started cutting interest rates instead. Falling US interest rates would turbocharge global stock markets as investors embraced risk again while fleeing bonds.
I think the more interesting thing is, did you hear about the Japanese yen? How they were saying that's probably going to collapse. There's been this talk about it, because I think for the last 20 years, they've done something like, or even 30 years, like banks aren't allowed to charge interest on loans, I think it was, or something like that. And there was a law in place, but that law is finally coming off. I can't remember it specifically, but they're saying that basically, the yen is going to lose its value.
I haven't heard about that. But in January, Brazil and China entered into a preliminary agreement to trade in national currencies instead of using the US dollar. Brazil is, by the way, like a powerhouse, up-and-coming powerhouse. And then China, Russia, and Saudi Arabia and Iran are basically...
Yeah, I just found one on Iran as well.
Yeah.
Yep. So essentially the modern day's access countries.
Pretty much.
UAE and India as well.
All the tech developing countries, mind you.
So I've got, Brazil and Argentina have discussed the creation of a common currency for the two largest economies in South America. What are you laughing at?
Because I don't know if you heard the joke.
Oh, no, I didn't.
But I don't want to repeat myself.
I was half reading while...
Say it
No,
again.
I
say it
said
again.
essentially today's day, like
Yeah,
modern
the
days,
Axis.
access countries.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah.
So Brazil and Argentina are going to discussing creating a common currency between them two, which would be insane because they're the two biggest in South America. In Singapore, Southeast Asian, multiple former Southeast Asian officials spoke about de-dollarization efforts in Southeast Asia. Dude, Cambodia, you couldn't even use local currency. When I went,
I remember you saying,
they said use American,
Yeah.
and they tried to give you change in theirs. It was worthless.
Yeah.
I don't want your currency. Like even you don't use it. You know what I mean? The UAE and India are in
This
talks.
is a scam.
It is to use rupees to trade non-oil commodities in a shift away from the dollar. And for the first time in 48 years, Saudi Arabia said the oil-rich nation is open to trading currencies beside the US.
That's a big one.
Ugh.
Yeah. Exactly. It's really bad. I'd be shitting my pants if I was America.
So then what? Okay. So if the world stops trading with US as the main currency, is the assumption that crypto is going to be the next biggest?
It has to be.
Why?
Because the US will... So the US, leads the way. But if that collapses, unless everyone gets on board with China and Chinese currency, which... I'm not really that
Chinese
keen on.
currency is very heavily regulated.
But yeah, I'm not keen on. And I don't know why other countries would be. It's too much. They're way too controlling of everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Even people I talk to, like friends that I'll make. But currently, I've got quite a few friends that are living in China, and they're like, "It's not good here. Like, you wouldn't live here. If you had any other option to get out, you'd get out."
I should message a friend of mine that I've got that is Chinese. She was in the banking world for like years.
Yeah.
She hasn't. Yeah, she's been quiet. I haven't heard.
She's gone.
Yeah,
They took her.
I'm just thinking maybe she's gone. She was pretty liberal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a guy I'm working with during the COVID sessions. He when they did those hard lockdowns in China, he was stuck in a box for like months. They barely gave him food. He wasn't allowed to leave. He didn't have COVID, but they locked everyone down. People were dying around him, like in the boxes next to him, and they wouldn't move the bodies or anything.
What do you mean a box?
It's like they built like these little emergency
makeshift apartments?
yeah, but there's no windows. There's nothing there. It's just like a
They
door.
went their apartments, the actual houses that they were living
For the people that didn't have the apartments available, or they were too far from there. So if they were traveling,
okay.
they would basically throw them in a box.
in. Yeah.
How big was a box?
Probably like this. Apparently, it's pretty small. There was nothing in there.
That's insane.
Yeah,
What was he doing?
nothing. They don't give you anything to do. There's no like bed. There's no couch. There's nothing in there. It's empty. There's no windows.
How is that like part? Geneva Conventions surely have something to say about
It's just
that.
China, man.
No information. That's why during COVID, those periods, no information was coming out of China. People were trying to
Still
get,
not coming out.
No. People were trying to get on different social media using VPNs to try and get stuff out there, and the government was like slamming it down straight away, just shutting it down instantly. It's crazy. No, thank you.
So how sustainable is that
Is what?
as a country to do that to your citizens? How sustainable do you think it is?
Isn't China like one of the oldest?
No. I'm talking now modern day Chinese government. Do you think that how sustainable?
How long? How many years would you say modern day China's been established? What, Mao? Like who's? What leader do you go back to? Because it's always been an autocracy. Like it's not like they've had free elections and Ping's been in there for how many years
now? 20? 15?
So is Putin. Like Putin's been around that long. Putin's political rivals are in prison.
Yeah.
Or
I'm running. No, you're not.
stabbed themselves in the back through suicide.
Yeah, dude. They found him with 2 gunshot wounds to the neck. A tragic suicide, no less.
The note said, "I concede."
Did you hear about that dude in Russia that basically
I concede. Jesus God.
Did you hear about that dude in Russia that basically he killed a pedophile? Okay. Now, I don't know if he actually diddled his kid. I don't know about that part. But he killed the pedophile, and the murder was deemed as a suicide with 300 stab wounds to the back, 30 stab wounds to the back, and it was declared a suicide.
Yes, it was.
Where's this? In Russia?
Yeah.
Okay. What, the courts?
Yeah, they deemed it a suicide.
Is it because he made the decision to diddle a kid, or is it?
I don't know if he
based
diddled
on
the
fact
kid
that
or
he
just
stabbed
because he
himself
was
in the ass.
I don't know. I don't know if he actually diddled the kid or he was going to diddle this guy's kid. The guy found out, stabbed him 30 times, and then he got off and they deemed it a suicide. In the back.
I mean, where's the evidence of him even diddling or looking to diddle? You can't just go. You can't just be like, this guy was going to diddle my kids. He stabbed himself.
Maybe he was known. Maybe he was already. He had served his time in a gulag. I don't know.
Back to your question about sustainability.
Ah, yes.
What is this? I mean, what other nations would you say are as heavily moderated as China? I mean, you got countries like
Russia,
Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, and all that.
Even they're not as bad.
They're not.
Who, Russia?
Yeah. Not as
but then again,
forceful.
They're not as regulated.
Yeah.
Not as regulated, but just as propaganda.
Oh, for sure, of course.
Because there's footage of people showing their news in Russia, and it's like it's.
But the thing is, the Russian, what do they call oligarchs?
There is no war in Russia.
They don't disappear randomly.
No.
In China, you will disappear.
Yeah, they just do it.
In a second.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yeah.
And no one will hear from you for months and months and months, and then you'll reappear
it's because the party
saying
is too
how much
strong.
you love the party.
The party is just too strong. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah. It's a scary place to be. Jack Ma
Yeah.
Yeah.
disappears for months, comes back, and he's like, hey, everything's good. No, this government's great.
Yeah.
What? You haven't been saying that the whole time. What happened? Nothing.
Nothing.
What do you need that seat cushion for?
You're in a wheelchair now?
Is that a donut?
It's ingrown toenail. Yeah. What do you mean?
Why do you have a jar of Vaseline on the table?
Well, look at if I'm not mistaken, even when Hitler finally came to power, he had to cleanse all his supporters in order to consolidate his power because the party was just too strong for him. If he had chosen to continue on his
He needs followers, not leaders.
He needs followers, and he had to cleanse a lot of leaders.
Cleanse with holy fire.
Upper management, you'll say.
Upper management.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a HR meeting with Hitler?
Hans, come here.
It's just, you've been summoned to the viewers' chambers.
Answer this question for me. A lion and a sheep. And be like, I'm a lion. Kill him.
No. It'd be like, very good, very good.
Danke.
As he turns around, it's like the dictator.
I actually want to watch that again. That's awesome. That is so good.
How did we get to HR meetings with Hitler?
Upper management cleansing, which was linked to
Gestapo,
Chinese.
Literally layers of Gestapo doing just team review meetings.
I hope
you know
nothing
what I mean?
bad happens to you. What happened to Hans? He killed himself.
Yeah.
But he's been stabbed 300 times in the back.
Submachine gun, lower clavicle. What? It's a different time. But dude, think about that. That whole Hitler's uprising and all that sort of shit was the 30s.
Yeah.
The 30s. That's 100 years ago nearly.
Almost, yeah.
Almost 100 years ago.
But I think people haven't changed.
Meaning?
People are always the same.
We're still dumb.
The human condition is always the same. It's never changed. Okay? Technology modernizes and everything else gets up to date and modernizes, but people never change.
We're
People
still easily influenced.
People are easily influenced. Yeah. People are being dumbed down with this technology that's so grandly held up in esteem.
How did that happen though? Because I mean, we talk about how
ADSL.
When
information, yeah.
He's
Benjamin Franklin didn't invent electricity.
He's exactly thinking the same thing.
Once the information highway could be made much more readily accessible at a faster rate, and video information could be produced much, much quicker.
I mean, it's instant.
It was over.
man.
Okay, but this
it's
is what
instant.
Yeah.
Can I just make my point?
No.
Can I just make my point, please?
Please.
I
Thank you.
guess.
The reason why atrocities happen is lack of information, right? Lack of education.
Lack of, well, there's information, but I would say it's lack of
Awareness.
awareness of proper
Yeah,
information.
okay. No, but I mean, like, think about it. The Nazi
Or
Party.
education.
Take the Nazi Party, for example. The reason why they spread as like wildfire was because they used propaganda to their advantage.
Yeah.
They knew how to make the most of like film. Like they had remember that what was it called? The Jewish the movie.
Yeah.
The Juden it had a name. It was like a really famous propaganda film. Hang on. Nazi Jewish.
That's true. But
Just be careful what you're typing in there, bud. Turn your VPN on.
Shut up.
that's true. But then also the myth of
The Eternal Jew.
Yeah.
There we go. I knew the name.
The propaganda of like the raw deal that they got from World War One, which in a way was true though. They did get harshly penalised for World War One.
You missed my point. What I'm saying is one reason why they spread like wildfire is because they were able to propagate, like put forward their message like really vigorously, really quickly by utilising things like propaganda videos, movies. Things that weren't really done then. But Germans had invested.
Propaganda's always been a
but not
thing.
like
No,
that.
but there was a deep dive into psychology behind what they were
of
doing.
course. Yeah.
Goebbels and Himmler looked
They were
into it.
yeah.
They were very switched on when it came to marketing.
Yeah.
Like the posters, all the shit they did to drive up the rhetoric was very advanced at that time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The same way you get propaganda now. The same way you get a million Trump rallies.
But you're more aware of, well,
But now,
we say that, but
well, look, dude. Okay, hang on. This one I'm trying to get at, right? So you say through fear and ignorance, right, breeds a catalyst of like creating a movement, right?
stupidity.
Same with Trump in 2020, same with Trump in 2016. Got all these ignorant pig farmers and told them that Mexicans were coming over the border to rape them, kill them, and sell them drugs, even though they were already doing raping, using the drugs that they were bringing
We
over.
don't take quality or
Yeah,
top round
literally,
here.
right?
Yeah.
They created the big MAGA thing, which is, dude, Make America Great Again is like the most selling.
Yeah.
You can't be like
Whoever actually came up with that is probably one of the Nazi geniuses, honestly.
Literally,
Yeah.
that is a marketing tool. Like it's second to none, man. Like dead set, they would have. They hit a winner with that, right? And they got the red hat. They made it. They made ignorant people who felt isolated from their and forgotten about, made them feel like they were part of a club again, and they were going to onboard the hooray train to victory.
It was like an extra step above the patriotism step, right? It was like it was an additional part that drove people crazy.
What I'm saying is, you build these things through fear and ignorance, right, and the right marketing, right, pushing a message that people just buy into because they don't know any better. But in the age of technology and the age of ADSL, surely like that information is more readily available, so you can actually educate. Like I watch these videos,
But you would need to know to look for that.
I know, but
or want to look
is
for
it
that.
that hard? Like to school the other side? Do you know what I mean?
It is. In America, it is, because you're brainwashed from a young age. And I know that because my partner says the same thing when she moved here. She would fight me on gun control and all this stuff, religion and everything, right? And she would fight me on it. Years later, she can now turn around and be like, wow, I was actually brainwashed, and all my friends are brainwashed from a young age, from school. You're brainwashed. You're believed to think that this is correct and true, and you ignore anyone that says otherwise. You just ignore them.
That's any country, though, any culture.
What do we get brainwashed here for?
We're the best sporting nation in the world. No, I don't know.
We are, John.
We are.
Get out.
Like, we don't have the NRA rocking up to
of course not. Of
schools
course not.
and being like, hey, guns are great, kids.
No, of course
Think
not.
about it, right? Like, okay, use the NRA, right? When was the last shooting? It was a couple of days ago. It wasn't that long ago, right?
A couple of days ago, yeah.
Yeah. And they've come out. All the Republicans have come out
trans
again.
dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Republicans have come out, like your mate Ben Shapiro, God bless him. He comes out and he says, being trans is a mental instability, so therefore he'd be perfectly comfortable, like, not allowing trans people access to rifles, right?
Do it in his voice. Active trans people. He talks so fast. Just slow down, bro.
Because he's got nothing. He's got nothing. That's why. He tries to bamboozle you with bullshit, and it's like waterboarding you with just
It says bullets
numbers.
just constantly going, yeah.
But they've suggested that, like, certain Republicans have suggested that being trans is a mental instability. Therefore, they'd be perfectly fine with having trans people lose their access to guns, even though that defeats their second
Where's
amendment.
the evidence of that,
Right?
though?
But this is the thing.
What?
There is no evidence.
Trans is a mental
Out of all the-
I
instability.
thought it was up until like 5 years ago.
No, but the point is that
It was considered as part of. Sorry to cut you off. It was. So I did research on this because I was confused as well. It was considered a mental illness in line with multiple personality disorder. 3 years ago, the WHO removed that completely. They said we were wrong in saying that. There's no backing on that. It's you're completely normal.
So then what causes somebody to think that they're in the wrong body?
body dysmorphia.
Body dysmorphia. It moved to that.
So then what's body dysmorphia?
Okay, listen, I'm not creating the argument for that. What
No.
What
Okay.
I'm saying, this is just a talking point, right? Republicans are saying, they fight for the Second Amendment, right? Like, your right to bear arms. They're happy with kids getting bulldozed by AR rifles. Perfectly fine. They find one trans shooter in the last 20 years. You're right. Trans people should not have access to rifles because it's like, what about the other 50 billion other deaths that happen every single year to people that are literally insane?
Yeah.
How is that any more stable?
Yeah.
This is the narrative that they're leaning on now.
I mean, a lot of them are religious zealots, right?
But I'm saying is you look at that. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, can't you see the hypocrisy in what you're saying? It's plain as day. Plain as day.
Yeah.
Nah.
Because if you say it about the other thing, they're like, no way.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're sitting here as a third party and you're looking at it from the outside like, you're insane. Like, did you see that? Oh, my God. Did you see that safe space that they created for classrooms?
Oh, yeah,
Like
a
that
safety-
sliding wall.
Yeah.
Dude, this woman had to pull like these protracting doors. That it was like sliding walls that would form
Like a safe room.
It's
They got the buckets and stuff as well.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. It's a DIY safe room inside a classroom. Takes like 20 seconds to assemble.
Yeah.
Well, if they
like-
need it.
It's like
Yeah, but I mean, like,
What
every
other
classroom.
nation, dude? You go to Sarajevo or Baghdad, they don't have shit like that.
Have you seen the buckets
What buckets?
in the classrooms as well?
No.
They're emergency kit buckets with like body bags in there and
Are you kidding?
like tourniquets and yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. right?
Every classroom has to have one under the desk.
Dude, look at it as a world perspective, right? Look at the world as a full like scope thing. There are no other countries with mass shootings the way America does.
Yeah.
Go to Baghdad where it's a war zone. Afghanistan with the Taliban. No one's getting bulldozed by random civilians with AR semi-automatic weapons.
Well, that we're aware of anyway.
Look, Afghanistan's another level, right? That's third world. Yeah? And that's a Muslim caliphate. Like, it's a totally different ball game. It's literally a war zone.
Wife number 3, come here.
No, they just,
Why am I doing German?
they just have beheadings at soccer games.
It's different. They love
That's
this sport.
different.
They love this sport.
I love their sport.
Foul! Behead him!
Dude, they're sportsmen. You can't have them for that.
Free kick! That's not a free kick. Cut his head off.
Oh, talking about that,
Here we
I
go.
just discovered, I was reading
just
an
juiced him
article.
up now. Now it's all over.
Apparently in Brazil, in like 2008,
Why are you yelling?
because you've been yelling for the last 45 minutes.
I haven't been yelling.
We're very passionate people here.
Apparently in 2008, a referee stabbed a soccer player
course
to
he did.
death.
Where? Brazil?
In Brazil.
Okay.
It was a referee. So the crowd, in retaliation, mobbed him, decapitated him, drew and quartered him.
Is this during the game?
Well, the game was over by now. Like
But it was
pitch
at
and
the
bait.
field?
The
Yeah.
ref took.
So the ref was
stopped.
carrying a knife or something with
Yeah,
him,
and he stabbed the player to death
killed the player on the field.
over I think it was an argument over a foul or something. And
My
then the
God.
fans, as a retaliation, stormed the field, decapitated him. I don't know where they killed him first and then decapitated. And then they drew and quartered him.
They love this soccer, man.
Ronaldinho's just sitting up there with the head.
That's not right.
No, it's
anyway,
not.
my point is that the American culture is that backwards, where they look at a situation where kids are getting mowed down in random violence every single day. They don't think the guns are the problem. It's clearly the one trans shooter. It's clearly weak Democrats. It's
Whatever caters to what they want
we clearly
to
need
talk about.
ex-Marines and retired war heroes to be policing our schools. No other country in the world has that problem. Culturally. It's not ingrained in any other country.
Yeah.
Okay, go on, what's your, go, please, I insist.
No, I have no problem with what you just said.
I'm just saying, man. We're all like we can have we can have guns here in Australia.
Yeah, of course.
It's regulated.
Yeah.
We had one massacre.
Yeah.
And they clamped down on that shit like quick smart. Haven't had any gun massacres since then.
It's pretty hard for everyday people to get a gun, though.
I got my gun license during COVID.
But that's what I mean. Like,
I had to jump through hoops.
To get a gun itself, there is hoops to jump.
I had to jump through a lot of hoops. But I'm just saying, I'm making the point that culturally it's not an epidemic anywhere else on the planet.
No, of course not.
But they still see it like, no, we're right. Everyone else is wrong. Surely, like, at some point, the pork rinds have to, like, dissipate from the brain.
Well, they want to do it, but, like, what's it called? The NRA is just too much of a large faction.
They are the faction.
They are the faction. Yeah, essentially.
There's
it's pretty crazy how much control they have.
So what does it like? So how does the NRA's power actually stem out? Like,
because it's a
National Rifle Association. Like, I get
They've
that.
been around for what? A massive amount of America's lifetime, right? Like they've go back a long time, apparently. They've supported government for a very long time. And I think it's gotten to the point where it's so deeply ingrained that you just can't fight them.
Yeah.
It's impossible. They would have their little fingers in everything at this point.
Okay. The NRA was established in 17th of November, 1871.
Okay.
That's crazy. That is actually crazy. They are America.
Do you know what's funny? I'm just reading this description, but all I can hear is Shapiro's voice. Just because you said it. I'm just reading it because it's the first bit of like...
Okay, so...
yeah, it's like... The primary goal of the association would be promote and encourage rifle association on a scientific basis. According to a magazine editorial written by the trade. After being granted a charter by the state of New York on November 17th, 1871, the NRA was founded. You know what I mean?
That was nailed!
You know what I mean? I can't stand it. I listen to his chipmunk rhetoric and I can't take it anymore, man.
The amount of makeup he wears too, Jesus.
You know what I love?
Goes
I love that the Young Turks like always take a really fucked up screenshot of him, or like Sam Cedar does it as well. They take a screenshot of him like when he's talking, but he's got his like eyes half shut. He's got like a dirty beard. He just looks totally greasy as fuck. They do it every time. Like your mate Matt Walsh, he's gone off the deep end as well.
What's that?
Are you for real? Are you not following half the shit that I send you?
No.
How can you not be watching it? I thought you'd be all over it. He's out of his mind.
Why?
Are you kidding?
About that thing you were saying?
God, what was
I don't watch a lot. No, I don't watch a lot of that stuff anymore. I told you. Everything that was coming up was so specifically catered. I'm like, you know what? I do not care. Like, I don't need this. I want to enjoy my time that I do have outside of work and just kick back.
You're not wrong, because I found myself over the last 48 to 72 hours, I found myself, I'd have like Young Turks, Brian Tyler Cohen, like all of them, David Packman, like all the usuals that I normally watch for political commentary, just on loop in the background, and it was just getting me angry. I'm like, I'm sick of hearing about Trump. I'm sick of hearing about Alex, what's his name? Jones.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or like some senator in America that's losing his mind or whatever. I was like, this is just pissing me off.
Watch it. Yeah, like, I mean...
So I started putting on like Dr. Katz and...
yeah, just enjoy it.
Again.
I'm trying to get back to enjoying my video watching.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, in all honesty, this is... crap you not. The last time I watched any Matt Walsh was when he just as he released the What Is a Woman doco.
Yeah, see, it was from there where I actually went down the rabbit hole and started watching
I haven't even watched it yet. I just watched the first 5-10 minutes.
Look, Matt Walsh was good when he was just focused on comedy and with a bit of social commentary.
Yeah.
But as he's gotten bigger, he's found more notoriety and more fame and
he's
more
taking
money.
it more seriously.
He's delving into it more because now he's on Ben Shapiro's...
he's pandering to the psychos that are like hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's gone extreme right, and because he's on Shapiro's platform, he's just found if he leans into it, he just gets the nod from above. It's like that Jordan Peterson thing. Oh my God, tell me you watched that at least.
What? No. I told you I haven't watched anything for a long time.
It was on Sam Cedar's show.
Yeah.
And the video was called Jordan Peterson's latest grift or latest scam. And what happened was Peterson had gotten into a convo like on Twitter and then retweeted something that was going against the Daily Wire, like Shapiro and Shapiro's platform. So then he's like, oh, shit. So he actually went and like deleted the tweet to cover his ass.
Yeah.
But Sam Cedar does the best like Jordan Peterson like impression of all time. It's the best.
Okay. Yeah.
He's like, I deleted that tweet. and moved on to some other nonsense. He just is Peterson's the best.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with Matt Walsh. He's just leaned in because he's realised he's making money now, gaining notoriety by being on Shapiro's platform. He's just leaned in on that hard right. And so he's got his audience. But they're looking at him like he's some intellect now. Like he's not a pseudo-intellect. He's just another schmuck on a radio show.
Yeah. But like I said to you before, it's politics, regardless of whoever. Everybody looks up to somebody within the platforms. And that's what it is. And that's why, like I was just telling him, I've just completely pulled back probably about 3-4 months ago, even more.
What's that thing?
Just taking more stock of like what I was like watching. I was like, well, what for?
Back to like serious stuff.
Yeah, I want to, like I was saying to him, like if I get home from work, have dinner, and I'm like, all right, I got 3 hours. I can either do this, or that, or I can sit around and watch these videos and get pissed off. I'm like, no, it's not worth my time.
But the problem is that you just can't avoid it. And
no, you can avoid it.
No, sometimes it's...
No, you can avoid it. You
actually can.
You clear your YouTube history completely. Clear it. You start from scratch.
So I have different profiles for different browsers. And I have a business one.
Why do you have different profiles?
I was just about to explain it to you. Okay. I have a personal one. I have a business one.
Different bank account, different email address.
I have one that's completely
different
clean.
name, different avatar.
Is there one that you don't want to be seen while you're doing video chats?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even open my folder just in case.
Yeah, I could imagine.
You remember that boss button that people used to have on the old DOS applications where you press the boss button and it brings up just random DOS shit? He's got boss buttons set up for like whole personalities, templates, browser history.
Oh, I'm under the impression he's still running DOS.
Yeah, it's
just so no one else can access it.
F5 is Andrew. Manager, corporate, blah, blah, blah. Standard like operating system templates, nothing obscene.
No, like
F7, it's like...
the dark world.
The problem is that crypto has a lot of scams. And if someone if I accidentally click on something or I get hacked or whatever, I don't want anyone understanding.
I don't think if you get hacked, they've seen that's the worst.
No, my wallets with my money. So that's the main concern.
A lot of dead moths.
So I have a couple of clean browsers. I use my laptop as well for completely offline
clean
stuff.
browsers. This is a thing, people.
Clean.
With new accounts, I got plenty.
Set on 30-minute clear refresh and clearing history.
No, it just doesn't save,
dude. Like it's fake IDs.
So
I need a set of clean prints, new passport,
yeah,
ID
it is.
card,
I've got
security
I cycle through emails and stuff like that.
Where are you going?
You're the Jason Bourne of internet, aren't you?
Anyway, so I went to go see.
How do I know that I can look at every computer in here and I know the load up times?
I do tests for our company to see like what would come up on a fresh account to see like SEO wise what people are looking for, how it works. So I get ads on YouTube that are completely fresh.
Yeah,
how weird is it?
It's completely it's untargeted.
It's so strange to see
foreign as
other
hell.
ads on YouTube.
So foreign, so foreign, and. So one of them was the Blue Beetle one for the DC movie, Blue Beetle.
Oh, it's a Blue Beetle movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who the hell's Blue Beetle?
It's an unapologetic Latino film.
What does that mean?
What does that
I don't know. The director quoted it saying it's an
Well, that's going to flop.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Hang on. The director was asked, what is this movie about? And it's an unapologetic Latino film?
Yeah.
That's like saying The Witcher has the swashbuckling and...
what do you mean unapologetic Latino? You're just going to take every stereotype. There's going to be burritos and
could you imagine it? For that, I want to see.
That's ridiculous.
So the weird thing about it is the dad...
I have some tacos and burritos.
We're back to Juan. With his paella.
So the dad, right, they're a Mexican family.
You don't say.
The dad... Wait. The dad was born...
I thought they were Polish.
The dad was...
Oh, sorry, hold on. Oh, no, that's all right. I'll tell you later.
The dad was born in Mexico, but the family moved to the US really early on, like baby status.
Legally or illegally?
I'm assuming illegally.
Caravan, of course.
No, not through any holes in the wall or anything.
No. Well, there was no wall.
Catapult.
So the dad grew up... The dad grew up in America, as far as I know, and doesn't have an accent. He's American. Mm-hmm. In the film... super heavy accent, super Latino, whatever. Fine. Okay, cool. At the end of the trailer, they're like, oh, this is the stuff Batman would have. And they were like, bullshit, Batman was a fascist. And
How was Batman a fascist?
And I'm like, what?
Wasn't he an orphan that saved people?
Yeah.
No, that was Bruce Wayne.
Okay. How is Batman a fascist?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was one, and then the second, because there's two ads always, and the second ad was another trailer with it's got that douche Pete Davidson.
Good old Pete Davidson.
Oh yeah, the best race of all time at that. You've heard that race, yeah?
Which one?
Of Pete Davidson?
No.
I think it was
Snoop? I think Snoop roasts him.
No, someone roasted. What's the British comic that I love?
Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr raced Pete Davidson. Look it up. Yeah, continue with your story. Yeah.
So he's in a horror movie or something that's coming out, and basically the start of the movie was like two lesbians making out, like aggressively making out, and then there was like surrounded by drugs and parties and whatever. Okay, fine. And then as they get to like the cabin in the trailer that they're all going to be like staying in, everything gets horror. There's one of, it's very clear that there's one of every nationality. Like they make that pretty obvious. The chick has like super hairy armpits, and I'm talking about like afros under her armpits.
Is this a comedy horror?
I don't believe so.
Just a stylistic
approach. It didn't have any comedy about it. And I was like, man, what is this shit? Like, this is a fresh account. I don't know. Just saying. I don't know.
Okay, well, hang on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's
Jimmy Carr's 9/11 joke?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm looking up?
Yeah, because Pete Davidson's dad died in 9/11.
Yeah, I remember that.
Pete Davidson's here. I'm appalled that people would come here and make jokes about the sacrifice Pete's heroic father made on 9/11. This is not the roast of Pete Davidson's father. That was in 2001.
Oh shit! I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
Woo!
Yeah, that's not.
That's great.
But Jimmy Carr's always been like that.
You can't. Yeah, you get Jimmy Carr, you know what you're getting.
That is awesome.
Jesus Christ.
See, my Juan Wick was not out of line.
What was I saying? You cut me off. I had like 1,000 things I wanted to say. Now I've forgotten them all.
I cut you off. I was telling a story.
Before you started your story, I was going to say something and then you cut me off. I can't remember what it was. What were you going on about just then?
You are 1 week.
Before Juan Wick.
Blue Beetle accounts with no attachments to previous profiles. DOS buttons.
But okay, like look at that. Okay, commercials without influence. Okay, that's what you're getting. So that's what normal people are getting. So they're getting that
Daily
after
Wire.
That.
I'm just trying to help out.
So then, okay, let's say if you started looking for videos with Matt Walsh and what's the guy that he was imitating before?
Jewish Mick Poland.
No, the Jewish guy. What's his name?
Yeah, I don't know. What's his name?
Who?
The one you were just impersonating, the Jew one.
Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro, that's it.
You're going to start getting those videos.
Yeah.
All right. If you go on and then I'm assuming you start watching videos that have this Sam Cedar guy and Young Turks, you're going to start getting videos of those. So no matter what you look up, you're going to start getting.
You're going to get brainwashed somehow.
Yeah. It's either one way or the other way. You try and watch unfiltered, like just as it is, you're still going to get influenced because you're going to get ads that have all that stuff. You can't get away from it.
No. So I was correct.
Put ad blockers on. Ad blocker, VPN.
That doesn't help.
Oh, ad blockers does.
No, but you still get recommendations.
Still keep
what if you
up.
don't sign in on an account?
Nothing saves, but it still saves. Nothing saves, but it saves
the
to
cookies
your
from the YouTube page.
Correct. Yeah.
You can't escape it.
Nope.
Man. That footprint now.
Stop watching YouTube.
I can't imagine, like, at the end of the road, there'll be a guy with, like, big levers and, like, an old Microsoft 3.1 setup. And it's just got, like, a digital footprint of everything you've ever followed, liked, shared, subscribed to, Trainspotters podcast and such.
Smooth.
Can you imagine, like, what it would actually look like? They're like the pages of the universe. You're just looking at all these things like, Jesus Christ, when was I looking at this?
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, what is wrong with me? Like,
Go touch some grass.
Hentai octopus. What? Keep scrolling.
Even St. Peter's lab assistant will be like, what the fuck? Like, we've never seen this.
I gotta see what this is. What? It just grew up in my mouth.
Dude, St. Peter himself. It's like, I need a sick day. I'm coming back tomorrow. Because Andy turned up with a suitcase.
That's the first time.
Oh, there's the socks.
Please,
the socks.
Put your suitcase on the conveyor for screening. Doesn't matter. You know what? Just take it off. Just go sit in the lounge and wait till we get back to you. Speaking of disgusting habits, man, I don't know about you guys, right? But I've been trying to monitor what I've been eating because I know over the last month I've been binging on I've been too tired to cook, haven't had time, so I've had a lot of Uber Eats and I've been having a lot of sugar to just try and stay awake because I've just had a lot of work on and stuff, yeah? So I know I dropped the ball with like the food thing. I noticed in the last week or two, I was getting up and it's like I can't have 3 eggs and like fried cheese again for breakfast. Like I need just Wheat Bix and move along, yeah?
Kebabs.
The other day, I went for a walk to the IGA and I was thinking in my head as I was walking there, I want to buy a pizza scroll just because I was hungry and I needed something to sustain me between the walk. And I was sort of trying to talk myself out of it before I got to the IGA. And just as I was about to I was within 20 meters of the IGA, like right in front. There was a bloke, it was like 10 past 8 in the morning. And he wasn't wearing like a tradie outfit to say that he'd been working like all night or anything like that. Just like a regular guy. And he was smashing a meat pie and a can of Coke.
Oh, yeah, that's normal.
I was like,
What a champ.
dude, I saw
That's
it.
normal.
I saw it and my stomach like flipped. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? And, I'm like, and then I walked into the IGA and the pizza rolls were sold out. So I'm like, oh, damn. Right? And like,
Was it a meat pie and a cake? It was.
yeah. And I'm like, this bloke was eating a meat pie without even like, he was like scumming it.
Yeah, man.
How?
Okay, Tim. Assuming this guy was a tradie.
He wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't.
No, but that's my point. Like, I used to work.
okay. I thought you said he was.
Dude, I used to do shift work and I did
Yeah.
work in like with trades and stuff.
Yeah.
So we'd be up from 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
a
yeah.
pie at 8 is no big deal.
Yeah, of course.
That's smoko. This guy wasn't dressed like that. He was just dressed casually, like just a regular bloke, like on his way to work.
Yeah, I mean, the standard breakfast in the concreting days would be a pie or a sausage roll.
Can of mother, sausage roll.
Burger with the light.
Easy, yeah.
You know, whatever.
Schnitzel sandwiches.
Yeah, for breakfast. Because you'd be up from 5, 5:30.
No, not this
and
bloke.
your first break would be at around 11 o'clock.
I vetted the outfit straight away. Like there was nothing nothing that inferred that he was a tradie.
I've been, like, I went to Fountain Gate, not now recently, but when I think I've told you that story. I've been to Fountain Gate, and it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, and there's people eating KFC and Hungry Jacks for breakfast.
Not for me. Not for me.
When you get up, don't you have that in your head? Like, what are my meals going to be for the rest of the day?
I only eat once a day. I can't. It sickens me to think about it. Like, I feel sick thinking about someone having a meat pie at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know.
So what do you only eat once a day of?
Well, I'm due for my meal tonight, so I'm getting pretty hungry. But
Carby, one would say?
no. When I get the HSP, I just get chicken. It's just a bunch of grilled chicken in a big box.
No lamb?
No, they don't sell lamb.
Chicken beef lamb?
It's a chicken shop.
Do you know what I'm finding myself eating? Like when
So it's not really HSP.
No.
When I go
call
up
it
to, we've got a distributor up in Campbellfield. When I go to their warehouse, on the way there, you pass a tuck shop. And if I'm hungry, I usually just go in and get like a piece of chicken and just tell them to cut it up.
Yeah.
Get a piece of chicken, cut it up for me. That's it. I don't want anything else. Or chips, gravy. Nah, man. Just the chicken on its own.
Nope. Yep.
Like, that's as good as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like, as an alternative. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the mindset, man, of like, there's nothing wrong with drinking a can of Coke at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I told you that commercial as well. I think I've said it on here as well.
What commercial?
There's a commercial like 20 years ago, and like there's a dude who's had a night out, and he's on his bed, and there's all the noises you can think of in the morning: garbage truck, his neighbor, his friend, his roommate coming home, throwing the keys on the table, this and that. All these, he sleeps through it all. Then his roommate comes in, puts some stuff in the fridge, and you just hear, and there's a commercial for a cake, and that's what wakes him up. So that's the first thing he wants to put in his stomach by waking up. That was a commercial 20 years ago. Look it up.
I just had 3 M&Ms before, and I feel disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how you do it. I mean, I admit, like, obviously, I did it too.
Do what?
Like, have a bunch of chocolate bars. And
I got a litre of water to wash it away.
Me. No, it kills me, dude. I feel like trash.
I normally, look, that's the sweetest I've been today, like, it's sweetest. That's like, I mean, I don't eat this stuff.
Yeah,
It was brought to work. Like, take it,
right,
otherwise it's going to go stale over the weekend.
Yeah.
All right, I took it and I brought it here. Whoever wants to take it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't touch, like, chocolate at all.
I don't see this ad, man.
No, I don't know which one it would be. It would be
Miranda Kerr was doing coke ads? Wow.
Which ones?
type like roommate sleeping or something like that.
Housemate sleeping. Oh, stupid thing. Stupid keyboard, man. Doubles up on letters. No, I don't see it. Gary86 was nice enough to upload an ad. Gary86.
I don't know. It could be.
Fantastic.
Well, that other one had like 20 years of ads. It'd probably be in there, but you'd have to.
Nah, I'm not going to
I'm not saying to sit through
ads.
it.
What are you, nuts?
Of course not.
No.
Go, late night Coke ad or something like that.
Wait, no.
Don't do Australia, just like late night Coke ad that's going to come up with. Or sleep in.
I think we've hit all the algorithm, man. I don't think we're going to get anything better. We'll find it like it has to be on there. Some poor schmuck didn't upload a Coke ad from 20 years ago.
There's the one that's black and white.
What?
There's black and white ads.
Coke keeps you thin. That's propaganda from the 60s. Surely we've gone past that.
Nah.
No, he says. Whatever.
There's, I've mentioned him once as well on here. There's that little red-headed Jew that goes around and he wants to travel to all the countries and around the world. I told you about him, yeah? Why are you laughing?
There was no other way to bring this guy to our attention.
Little red-headed Jew. Great.
Okay, rewind it back. So I told you guys about that guy on here that travels. His name, Drew Binsky. Yeah?
I told you about that tight.
He's got red hair.
But he's on a budget.
He's got red hair.
Well,
I think he's Jewish too.
Damn! He's got those curly sideburns.
And he was talking about that in some country. I think it's in South America.
Avoids shellfish, has a little hat. Extremely frugal.
Very frugal. He's trying to travel around the world.
Extremely frugal, very frugal.
He's trying. I think he was saying one of the South American countries or Central America.
Going to hell.
Drives a rundown van.
I'd like to thank you all for following Transpoders as long as you have.
That line's getting a little bit longer.
Buy us a coffee. Don't be a Jew.
You're the worst person in the world, man.
Hey! What did I do? I tried to wind it back.
You can't wind it back.
We start again.
We're live.
He's God. He can literally just stop and start wherever he wants.
I protect you from losing your income. I don't protect you from getting cancelled, man.
That's the same thing.
That's not.
There's no income attached to shit.
The episode's literally just going to start and then just end within 30 seconds tonight.
Sponsors pull out. Damn.
So, this guy...
Coke approaches us. Hey, you know what? We're actually pretty keen on that episode.
Till he mentioned the red-headed Jew.
That's why we're interested.
Well, we got Jew and Hitler in the same podcast, so let's go.
We're hitting all the high notes.
We actually did. Fucking hell, man.
Coke's like, we're fans. Honestly. It's like,
Fans.
So, he goes to South America or Central America. I think it's South America. And it's specifically a country where they mass produce cane sugar. Okay? And he says their Coke there, everybody drinks Coke. They drink it with breakfast, lunch, dinner.
because they use the cane sugar in it.
Because they use cane sugar in it.
Refined
so
sugar.
It's so addictive. That's why, the cane sugar.
Yeah.
And he drinks it and he goes, it's so sweet, but you could see how it's very addictive.
Well, they got to replace the Coke with something.
Is cane sugar any better than any other type of sugar?
No.
It's still sugar, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it still refined the same way?
Yes.
Stop.
But they can say organic with cane sugar.
Stop.
They can say organic, and people will like, woo! You know,
It's
healthy.
on a label.
It's healthy.
Organic.